Welcome to Getting Started with Adobe Express. My name is Teresa Sherman. I'm a tech coach at Ohio Valley ESC and also a part of several ESCs that are collaborating with with a grant through Remote edX to provide free instructional technology coaching. You can reach me at the contact information provided and also schedule individualized or group coaching at the Remote edX info and scheduling link. This session will start as informational and then transition to all hands-on. So please scan the QR code or follow the bit.ly link and get a copy of the edited slide deck from Adobe so you have access to those links. If you are joining live, please join with video and remember to mute your mic. Add your name, school, and position in the chat box. At any time, please feel free to unmute and ask questions that you may have. There will also be a form for you to complete for attendance requirements if you want CEUs, and then those certificates will be sent directly to you. That form will be linked at the end of the session. And these sessions will be recorded and posted to our Google Classroom. The Google Classroom join code is ZBIBRIJ. And also on that Google Classroom site will be the graduate credit information. So please check there if you are interested in graduate credit. By the end of the session today, you should have an understanding of the reasons for using creative tools, have your Adobe Express Educator account set up, be familiar with the Adobe Express Classroom Manager, and have an understanding of the basics of creating a graphic in Adobe Express. At the end, I'll show you some resources from Adobe so that you can leave and have resources and links to continue on with your learning. Laurel Marion will dive deeper into actually using Adobe Express during her February 3rd session entitled Unleash Your Student Creativity with Adobe Express. Please plan on attending her session or watch the recording for more in-depth instruction. Creating visual stories is an exciting and engaging way to develop important ideas and digital skills. As you may know, Adobe has a range of creative apps dedicated to creating meaningful digital content. The majority of Adobe's apps are pretty expensive, and sometimes it's not feasible for schools to be able to afford to use those apps. This session will only focus on Adobe Express, a tool that is easy to use and it will let you tell your story, and it is free. So that's what we're going to look at today. As a teacher, I always wanted to know the benefits of the technology tool before I learned something new or before introducing new technology to my students. Therefore, I'd like to spend a few minutes with these next few slides discussing the why before we take a look at setting up and using your account. We can use Adobe Express to make thinking visible, to empower all voices in the classroom, and to support students to share their ideas and their work. We want to use technology to enhance learning, not just to teach technology. On this slide, there is also a link to a video which was made by educators talking about learning outcomes and methods of choosing the right tools for your subject. Please feel free to watch it at your leisure. And as we go through the first few slides, think about ways students can learn how to create stories and why that's important. Creativity is the ability to imagine new ways of solving problems, approaching challenges, making connections, or creating products. Creativity is not based on a formula, but on thinking that relates to discovery and inquiry. The use of technology in the classroom encourages students to foster creativity, to connect learning to the real world, to develop problem-solving skills, learn self-discipline, take responsibility for their own learning, try new things, develop a curiosity that goes beyond the classroom, collaborate with others, and build self-esteem. We can do all of this with Adobe Express. Numerous studies have shown that creativity improves learning outcomes. So creative problem solving gives us a connection to learning. As we prepare our students for their futures, it's critical to remember that employers are also looking for creativity in potential employees. Teachers are looking for ways to bring creativity and creative problem solving into the classroom. Students can use these tools as part of their academic journey. We all know from Bloom's taxonomy that create is the highest level of learning possible. Students learn best when they create, but we don't always give them enough opportunities to do so. Many parents and teachers agree that teaching strategies are most effective when they inspire creativity in the learning process, and that teachers who use technology to support creativity have positive student outcomes. We all know the teacher that uses technology that the students rush to see on a daily basis. So kind of keep that in mind as we, again, go through these slides. Therefore, I think we as educators need to do more to encourage creativity in the classroom. And that can be done, again, with Adobe Express. We live in a world where information is communicated visually. You always see people on their tablets, on their cell phones. Effectively conveying your point of view is a crucial skill for an increasing number of professions. We need to transform our students from being content consumers to content creators. Everyone needs to be able to effectively communicate, and visual storytelling is a great way to achieve that. It's a skill that's not innate, but it can be developed. When you learn how to tell visual stories, it helps you think about what you're trying to communicate in a very clear and concise way. Using Express will bring those ideas to life. Once your student has the skills they need, they can learn document knowledge, create meaning, explain concepts, reflect on the learning process, express themselves, and again, all with Adobe Express. So what is Adobe Express? Well, it's simply designed, made easy for everyone. It is one of the newest tools, creativity tools from Adobe. It is suitable for all skill levels and ages. It allows everyone to be creative regardless of their experience. And with a few easy to use interface options, Express will get you up and running in just a few steps with really minimal training. So let's meet Adobe Express. As you can see from this slide, Express is an all-in-one cross-platform device or cross-device solution for creators. It gives users everything that they need to create graphics, flyers, photos, presentations, web pages, and videos. The projects are automatically synced to the cloud. So every time you open the app, no matter what device you're on, Express has your latest edits and it brings your ideas to life. To set up your Adobe Express for Education account, you need a school Google account. If you do not have a school Google account, your IT admin will need to set it up for you. So to see the details about the classroom accounts, either the ones that you set up with your Google school account or the ones the IT department has to set up, I linked on this slide an explanation here of the different types of accounts, and it will give many details that you may find that you can share with your admin, IT admin. So let's set up your account. The process is really easy. We're going to work through these first steps all together. So by the time that we're finished, you'll have your Express account set up and also your Classroom Manager account set up. So let's get started. I'd like for you to go hands-on. And what you want to do is to click the link on this slide, and that will take us to the Adobe Express website where we can get the education account set up. It should look similar to this. So go ahead and take a minute or open up a new tab, and you want to be at adobe.com/education/express. And then what you will do is select Educator from this screen. Once you select Educator, you can scroll down and you're going to see the section titled For Educators. And at that point, you're just going to click this blue button that says Get Started for Free. Now, I have screenshots for you because my account is already set up, so you can kind of compare your screen to mine to make sure we're on the right page. So the first step in setting up your account is going to be to choose to continue with Google. And then you'll choose, if you have more than one, what Google account you want to use. So you'll select it. It's probably only going to show the one school account. You'll need to accept the permissions. And then it does require that you add your date of birth, unfortunately. And then from that screen, once you get that completed, it's going to take you to verifying your educator status. So you want to make sure that you've added your first and last name, add your school name, make sure that you've checked the boxes that you agree to the terms, and then you'll have to open the link and review the COPA notice before it will let you go on. So double check that information, verify your school, and then we'll continue. The last step is to set up your classroom. So once you get to this screen, what you're going to do is just enter a class name. If you just want to enter something random for now, you can, just so you can get in and see it. You can always add more classrooms as you need them. So you're going to add a class name, pick a subject, and then select a grade. I know I taught multiple grades, but there's only an option to select one grade. Choose the color if that's important to you, and then you can also add the class period. And then you'll click the button that says Create Classroom. And then the next screen will be your congratulations. It will show you that your classroom has been set up. It'll give you the name of your class. It will give you the link to give to students to join, either by giving them this link right here, express.google.com/classroom join, and then this link, or you can give them this link here that has the join code with it, which is what I would do between these two choices. And then you're going to click View Classroom Manager, and that should take you to your Adobe Express Classroom. Okay, take a couple minutes, make sure you're caught up. If you're watching this recorded, you know you can always hit pause and continue on once you get caught up. Okay, so now that you're in your Classroom Manager, keep in mind that this is only available to teachers and students in educational institutions. So teachers are able to set up a classroom and then invite their students to join, just like you can with Google Classroom. This enables a student to create a student account to access Adobe Express with their school Google account. As far as the Classroom Manager key features, when we get in and look at it, you should be seeing it now on your screen. The Classroom Manager is going to let you be able to view and manage your classrooms. And there are 2 quick links that we'll take a look at. You're going to be able to add students here. You're going to be able to manage students here and also view student work. So those are the key features of having a Classroom Manager. At this point, your screen is probably looking like mine. You have your first account or your first classroom right here. And I'm going to stop the video, the live video, and go to the my actual Adobe Classroom Manager, and then we'll work through some of the key features of it. If you take a look at what you have here, the classroom button right here is going to take you to a screen that will let you add a new classroom. So if you wanted a classroom set up for each class period, you could do that. You would just click that plus and add an additional classroom, and then they're going to populate underneath this list so you can switch back and forth. If I go back to just the view that you're in, you're also going to see 2 links. This first link is going to take you to the actual app, the Adobe Express app. And this second link is going to take you to really some nice teaching resources. So if you click the resource link and let that open, you can see here that it has Teach Anything with Adobe Express. If you look down through, you're going to see all kinds of activities that you can do with your students. It'll give you what grade level and then what subject matter. And again, as you scroll down through, you're going to be able to see different apps and different resources to use with those apps. And this is the Adobe Rush, which would be the video editing. So you can go through and check any of those resources out. It may be something that's already finished for you that you'd like to use with your students. So if we go back to our classroom, back in your classroom, what you can do on the right-hand side is add your students. So if you are set up with Google Classroom, you can import a roster from your classroom. And when you click that button, it's just basically going to ask you what Google account, what classroom you want to connect it to, and then it's going to pull in your roster. So you can use that to easily bring your students in. Once they're invited or imported through Google Classroom, then they're going to get a link that says that they were added and they can accept your invite to join your class, and then they'll have their own account. You can also share the link right here, and it has the join code right with it. So you could share this maybe as an email, or maybe something that you want to put up on the board. If I was going to put it up on the board, I'd probably use this third step, and you can give the kids this address and then just put your join code up like this on your board, and they can join just like they do Google Classroom. So any of those three ways you can invite your students, and then like I said, that also gives them their account. So that's another feature of the Classroom Manager. And then if you look down, I imported from a demo classroom that I have set up, and it brought in one student, and you can see this one student, their name is OVESC Training, gives the email address. And then when you look underneath the actions, you're going to see that you can either view their projects, you can block them. So if they need blocked out of their account for some reason, you can do that, or you can remove them altogether from your classroom. So one nice thing about this is that you can view their projects. And I have a demo project so you can see how that works. So let's say I want to go to this student, and assuming you would have many more students, and then I could click the more button and choose view projects. Once this opens, you're going to see either their Adobe Express or their Rush projects, and then show what classroom it's coming from, training, etc. And then right here is their project. So in this particular example, the student has one project that they're working on. You can easily just check on students this way and see what they're actually doing, if they're staying up to date with the assignment, or preview their work, or check in with them and then give them feedback, or prompt them to get busy if they need to get busy. But this is what it's going to look like. On the more button, you can delete it. So if you want to delete their project, you can delete it. You can make a copy of it. Right here on the view button, you can view it, and then it's going to open, maybe slow but sure here. And there would be the full version of what their project looks like, and you can see that. So that's nice that you can easily check in and see their work, and then give them any kind of feedback that they need. Now, one thing I do want to mention, when you're first starting out with this, keep in mind that this may be some of the students' first time at ever creating anything that is academic. So kind of when you're ready to grade, think about grading substance over their form. They might not have followed the rule of third, or left white space, or any of the design features that would be good in a graphics design project. But what you need to think about is their substance. So kind of look at their work and see if they've focused on the concept, or they've done some planning, the content that they have, how they have things organized, maybe the quality, any kind of teamwork that's been involved. So kind of think of those things, and don't be real tough on the design features until you've had a chance to teach that to them, because they're just going to be starting out. So that's basically the classroom manager. Does anybody have any questions on that? Anything there? Okay. All right. Well, let's take a look then at and I go ahead and bookmark this. So if you want to bookmark it, go ahead and do that so you know where your classroom manager is. Also linked here, and you guys can go ahead and click that, is the Adobe Express. So that will actually take you to the app. At any time, if you want to go directly to those links, let me get that slide for you. Here are the links. So express.adobe.com/classroom will take you to the manager. And then just to get to Adobe Express is express.adobe.com. So you've got those site addresses there for you to go to. Okay, so once you've clicked the link, you should be in Adobe Express, and it looks like this. So if you want to go ahead and load your own copy, that would be great. What we're going to do is just simply work through 6 steps to create your very first project. And it won't be anything elaborate. You'll get more with Laurel when you take her session. But what we're going to do is just follow along with 6 easy steps. And if I go back to the slides, you guys will be able to see on this slide right here, I have a link to how to create a graphic in Adobe Express. And this link is just to an information sheet from Adobe. It looks like this, and then you'll have reference to it. So we're going to work through these 6 steps. We're going to start with the home page, pick a template, add some content, look at ways that you can edit it, name it, and then look at how we can share it. So that's all we're going to do with the actual app. But like I said, you'll have that and be able to refer back to it. So back in Adobe Express, this is the home page. So if at any point you get lost in the app, you can always click the Adobe Express right here, the link that will take you to the home page. So at any time you can do that. What we're going to do from the home screen is to create a new project. And if you look through, you can see that you've got all of these options here, whether you want a presentation or a slideshow, poster, a learning journal, flyer, infographic. If I slide over, there are resumes, worksheets, and lesson plans. So you can see, and of course, a report card at the end. If you scroll down, this is where the quick actions are going to be located. Like maybe you want to remove a background from a picture or resize an image. So all of those quick actions are right there. And again, I think that's something that Laurel will look at with you. If you go down a little bit farther, you can see view templates and more. And if you click that, that's going to show you all kinds of templates that are here from Adobe that you can easily just open and remix and call them your own. So again, just take a minute and scroll through so you can see some of these. I'm going to go back up to where the flyers are or posters and just grab one of those so that we can experiment a little bit with it. So you guys go ahead, pick out a template. Doesn't make any difference what it is. I'm going to click this first poster here so I have something to work with. And when you click on one of the templates, then you're going to see it open as a project, and we're ready to edit. Anybody need any more time? Okay, so step 1 was just the home page. Step 2 was to pick a template. Step 3 is going to be looking at the ways that we can add content. So if you look over here on the left side menu bar is going, or toolbar is going to give you all the different ways that you can add content. So we can add text, which is what it defaults to. You can click the plus to add your text. You can search for different text features. You can use any of these pre-designed text blocks to add to your, in my case, poster. So if I wanted to add something as far as one of these text graphics that are already laid out, I could do that. So maybe I wanted to add 8 places to visit on a budget, because it looks like she's on vacation, huh? So I've got that. You just click it and it adds. And then once you click on it, then you're going to be able to look at the right-hand side, and the right-hand side is going to let you do the editing for whatever it is that you have selected. So in this case, I have that graphic selected. I'm going to go to ungroup because right now it's all stuck together. And then when I ungroup, I can select different sections of it and just edit those. So if I wanted it to say something else beside places to visit on a budget, maybe I want it to say just budget vacations. I could click and select that text. If I could spell budget. And then the text is changed. And then you can look down through, you've got the font color, you've got alignment, you have some effects. It is now recommending fonts for you to use, which is a new feature, and that's a nice feature. So you've got that on the edit side. If we go back over to the content side, the left side, the next section is photos, and these sections are all going to work the same. So you can search for different photos, you can upload a photo. They give you all different kinds of categories that you can pick from. So if I wanted to add something from the photos section, I could go over here and add. Maybe I want to add this, which I don't know. I'm going to end up with a mess, but that's okay. You'll see how it's supposed to work. And again, then if you click on it, this right-hand side is going to open up with all of the edits that you can make to this particular photo. And again, you can scroll down through those. So you've got your edits there. If we go back over on the left-hand side, the next button is going to let you add any kind of shape. And again, it works the same. You click on it, the shape is added. Maybe for some reason, I want this smiley face. I click on it, my smiley face is added. When I click on the smiley face, then I get all the right-hand side, which is where I'm going to be able to edit the content. And then the Next button is going to give you design assets. Again, you can scroll through and look at all the options. You can search for them, whatever one you want. When you click on it, it's going to add it to your design. And then again, when that's selected, the right side is going to open up with all the edits that you can do to that. And then finally, the last one is your background. So again, you could change your background. For some reason, if I wanted this, which, you know, my design's going to go from bad to now hideous, adding pumpkins to it, but you can see how that works. You click it and then it adds, and then you've got the options here to edit the background on the right hand side. So just kind of keep in mind when you're working through this that to add the content, you want to work on the right hand side, or left hand side. To edit it, you want to work on the right hand side. Okay, so that's step 3, just adding the content that you wanted. Step 4 is going to be any of the customizing, which is going to be over here on the right hand side, which we've kind of looked at already. Then step 5 is going to be to name your project. So you're going to click here where it says my project, and you're going to give it a name. I'm going to call this one Hot Mess because that's exactly what it is. And then your project is going to automatically be saved to the cloud. So you'll see right here, saving and then saved. So it'll automatically save changes as you make them. And then the last step in our 6-step process is to look at ways that you can share what you've created. So first of all, you can download. And since this was a poster, I've got options here for PNG, JPEG, or PDF. So that's easy to download. You can also go here to the share button. On the share button, it's going to let you publish to some kind of social media, invite people to collaborate with you. You can make a template. So if you're teaching and you want to give the students something to start with and then maybe have them remix it, you could make yours a template. You can also send it to your Google Drive, which I like a lot. So those are your options there on sharing. So the 6 steps, remember, we started with the home. We were back here at create a new project. We picked a template. Once we had our template open, we used the left-hand side to add content. We used the right-hand side to edit whatever element was selected. Then we named it, and then we looked at the ways that we can either download it or share it. Anybody, any questions? That's basically the process in a nutshell. Very, very basic. If you want to go back and look at the link right here, everything is linked for you so you can see those 6 basic steps. And if you're just getting started, that may be good enough to get you at least something created that you can use. And like I said, you'll want to go with Laurel's session to get in there and really dive in a lot deeper to how the app actually works. You sure? Anybody, any questions? Anything? Okay. All right, moving on then. Let's go ahead and look at this slide. Now that you have Express, you have your classroom manager account set up. Now, what are you going to do from this point forward? So what I want to look at with you, Adobe has some awesome resources. Um, Lots of these I've used when I taught at the high school, but you'll find that there are many things here that you can use to either teach yourself or to use with your students. So the next few slides, well, 2 slides actually, has links on them for the things that I think would be beneficial to you. The first one here is the Express User's Guide. So it's the entire guide. I did go in and check the other day, and it was updated in December. So it's fairly current. There is a class that you can take. It's Express in the Classroom, and that is linked. There are also tons of tutorials. So the links to the tutorials are there for you. So if there's anything there that you want to follow along with, you've got that information. The Adobe Exchange, the Education Exchange, is tremendous, and it is just a wealth of resources for you to use with your students. If you would, or if you want to just look at my screen, we can take a look at that real quickly. I know time-wise we're getting about ready to wrap up, but on the Adobe Exchange, what you're going to see are all kinds of teaching resources, and then you can filter by subject. You can filter by what product, and in our case, it would be Express. You can filter by grade level and time to complete. And then if you get in here and you like a certain author, you can always filter that way as well. So those are the teaching resources. Under the professional learning, if you check that checkbox, this is really nice, and it is linked as well on that previous slide. But as far as professional learning, these would be classes and tutorials that you can take. They're self-paced, and it'll give you more information on Adobe Express. So again, that's very nice. And then you've got the collections, and then under the collections, it's grouped by category, so you can explore those as well. So that's again going to give you a lot to look at going forward, and a lot of resources that you can go back to when you get started using Express, either for yourself or with your students, or both. So back to the slides. Remember too that you can always follow Adobe on your social media, and you'll get resources there as well. And that pretty well wraps us up. I wanted to leave time for any questions. So anybody, any questions? Just unmute and anything at all. Okay. Well, the attendance is there. So if you want to get your CEU certificate, make sure that you scan and fill out the attendance form, and then that'll be sent directly to you. And I want to make sure it works. Okay, anything in the chat? Any questions? Okay, all right. Well, thank you guys for attending, and If I can give you a hand with anything, just feel free to reach out and let me know, and I'll be glad to help. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Thanks, Teresa.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.